So I don't check my LinkedIn inbox every day. Why? Because most of the messages that I get in there are spammy, crappy, value-sucking wastes of my time. Now, occasionally I do get a few good examples of connection requests and requests to jump on a call, but it is rare. So in this video, I'm going to highlight a few examples of how not to prospect for new business on LinkedIn. And I'm also going to give you my own 3-step framework for getting an 80% connection rate with new potential buyers. So let's jump right into it. Hi, I'm Will Barron, founder of Salesman.org, where we help salespeople who sell services crush their sales quota. So let's jump into my inbox and see what's occurring. So here we have, hi Will, as the technical co-founder, yada yada, I like to connect with business leaders, companies like yourself, that can help shape the direction of our platform. Can we connect? So here I've connected and no follow-up, nothing's happened. So clearly not the best example here. So here is a decent example of getting a connection request done with me anyway. New listener to the podcast, very insightful source of information to overlay and continue. So here we have Sam, who is basically sucking up a little bit. Hopefully does enjoy the podcast. Hopefully he's getting value out of it, but that's enough to get a connection request from me. So here, not so good. I want to shoot you an invite to join us in our inclusive Slack. What's the best email to send an invite to? My email is on the website. You can comfortably, easily find the email on there. And why do I want to join this Slack? There's no value to me. I don't understand why I'd want to join this. There's no value there whatsoever. So here we have a better example of someone who's trying to get some value from me and they want to get on the podcast. So here Justin wants to send me a book. He's left me a voicemail message with a link to a post, then further follow up with quotes. I don't think that's really customized, but fine. And then just a plain kind of call to action here. Got to get on your show. And then the final one, curious, how can I get you to respond on here, Will? Is a VA running LinkedIn, or do you see this? So Justin, I do see this. Drop me an email, mate. As I said at the intro of this video, there's just so much crap that comes through my LinkedIn messages that I never really check it properly. But here, Justin has used what we call a last-ditch email template, even though it's been done on LinkedIn, where you ask, look, is this deal ever going to happen, or are we ever going to get on the phone? And this will get a reply from a lot of people. Here we have Fred, again, looking to get on the podcast. Fred says, I was listening to your podcast this morning, which I enjoyed. Flattery. Perfect, Fred. Keep up the good work. He mentioned UFC, so I watched the UFC, you mentioned Dan Hardy, and that got a conversation going. So this is rare in my inbox. There was actually a conversation. So Fred, just follow up and ask for the podcast, or what you need to do really is ask for our producer's email address and not get in contact with her. But you see there's a conversation going there rather than just spammy LinkedIn messages. Fred has actually tried to engage in conversation and he's had a little bit of a conversation as well. So here we have perhaps not the best example of prospecting over LinkedIn. I wonder if you can help me, as I'm looking for a handful of business-minded active individuals who like to take a look at a low-maintenance but high-reward business. That immediately screams to me multi-level marketing or some kind of other spam venture. So I'm sorry, Inga, here if I am misappropriating the content you sent in your message, but when you're asking for serious people only, but it sounds like you want me to start selling some kind of magic rocks or something like that. So you can see, obviously, my reply there, lol, what? Here we have an example of someone who got a connection request with me. So Will, my team, we are passionate about procurement professionals and we make it our mission to bring sales and procurement. Of course, that is interesting to me. I'm interested in that. And then there was a follow-up. You've got to follow up once you get that connection request just to keep the chance of a conversation going. But here he's kind of pitching a service to me. We do this through trainings, workshops, skill development programs. I don't really need any of that. It's not really asking a question. It's just kind of throwing a bunch of information at me. So as you can see, the conversation went nowhere. And this is obviously all automated as well, which is not ideal. Here, Greg didn't get a yes from me. He actually got a no, but he got a response, right? So his request was clear. I answer one question during a 10-minute call and then it's showcased with thousands of other people. So he got a polite response. Maybe Greg, if you would have followed up a few more times, described the value of me actually taking part in this, because I don't really need to be in front of a couple of thousand people when each podcast episode that we do gets 20, 30,000 downloads. If you'd have had a different angle of value, you probably could have convinced me to take part in this. Here, this is just complete rubbish. This is just spam. Hi Will, here is one of our top tips today. I assume that's a jockey in a race. I don't watch horse racing. I've got no intentions of watching it. This is just a spam in my inbox. So again here, kind of on the right tracks. They've created a bit of content. They're sharing that content with me. It's not really relevant to what I do. So I assume this is all automated, unfortunately. And have you been able to catch one of my live streams? No, because you've not shared any with me and it's probably not all that relevant. So again, this is all automated. It's not customized to me. And so as you can see at the top here, I've actually muted this conversation and I don't want any more spam coming from this individual. So again, if you want to connect with me, seemingly all you've got to do is say, I listen to your podcast and I like the interviews. Would you be interested in connecting? So that is a lesson right there. I've not really taken account of all the messages that I get in and looking through them step by step like I'm doing here. If you want to connect with someone who is producing content or someone who has some kind of asset, a business, a marketplace that they are developing, just comment and stroke the ego on that and they'll probably accept it. Again, here we have Dustin saying he enjoys the podcast. So I'll skip now just the ones of people trying to connect with me, fans of the show, and we'll get down to people, individuals, and basically bots who are trying to spam me and trying to get something from me. So here, unfortunately, Carol, I hope you don't mind me asking, are you doing any recruitment at the moment? No. So you got no reply. There was no follow-up. It's not a very useful message to send. So here, I don't really know what's going on here. Hello, Mr. Barron. All is fine. Hello, Mr. Barron. How are you? Could we speak on Skype or Zoom on Friday or Monday around 3 p.m. to explore common ground? Julio, what common ground? We've not even talked. I can only assume that this is an automated bot trying to get responses. So here we have a pretty tame opening message. Owner of a virtual office solutions, passion to help and support. Doesn't really grab me and pull me in, but fine, I've accepted it. Next message. Hi Will, thanks so much for connecting with me. It's a struggle to yada yada, yada yada. It's too long. Now that sounds like something worth considering, doesn't it? No. I run a sales training organization. Why do I need lead generation individuals to help? So I replied just to stop that person spamming me and never got a response back. So again, more spam here. I don't know how this gets through. LinkedIn must have some kind of spam filter. He says, hello, Will. Nice to connect with you here. Are you looking for any of these services? And I assume he sent an image discussing the services rather than writing them out in text, because maybe LinkedIn does have some kind of spam filter and these things like web design and illustration all get picked up by the spam filters. That's why I sent an image. I don't know if that'd be useful for anyone who's watching this who wants to spam people, but that's probably what's going on. So here we have, again, another spammed message. Will, on the 29th of May, to CEOs, Fashion Days Group, Fashion Market. Has that got anything to do with me? No. So why are you sending me this message? And then similar message again, with only 75 seats left. Oh, crapping hell. Let's jump on this one. Maybe not. So there we have some great and some not so great examples of LinkedIn connection requests and also follow-ups to try and generate a phone call. And for every 1,000 messages I get, I probably reply to 10 of them, and I probably only get on calls with one of those individuals out of every 1,000. But do not despair. I think that was almost quite depressing going through that then, because in a second I'm going to share with you how I get an 80% plus connection rate on LinkedIn when selling our Sales Accelerator program to sales leadership across the planet. So this is a 3-step process to getting more connection requests on LinkedIn, and it works because it pulls on 3 elements of influence. It leverages authority, social proof, and reciprocity as well, a powerful combination. So the first step is to create one targeted content. That is the goal with any LinkedIn outreach. And you can create a very quick and easy targeted bit of content by just answering 3 questions that your potential buyers have. It's literally as simple as that. We're going to use your ideal buyer personas as the model here. Now, if you're unsure of who your ideal buyer personas are, make sure to click that subscribe button because we've got an in-depth video on that very topic coming up soon. But the point of creating this Facebook post answering 3 questions that your ideal buyer personas have is to increase your levels of authority and give the prospect increased levels of social proof if there's any likes or comments on the post as well. And it doesn't need to be a work of art. Just answer 3 questions in a regular LinkedIn post back to back, and that's it. That's all you got to do to nail it. Step number 2, you need to do some buyer research. So all you got to do is make sure that the people that you're reaching out to fit this ideal customer persona that you're creating this free question bit of content for. Because this process only works, as you've seen through the LinkedIn messages I've just been through, it only works when you're targeting the right people with the right questions that they would like to see answered. And 3, pretty simple. Send the message. The final step is just to customize your message and point your prospects towards this post. So to give you a real example, this is the template that I copy and paste when I'm reaching out to VPs of sales. I just say, hey, whatever their name is, I checked out your profile and we're doing a lot of work with VP of sales at technology companies. So that VP of sales and technology companies can change depending on the person you're reaching out to. I'd love to be a part of your network and share some of the insights on improving sales performance that we're generating with our work. So here, again, I'm trying to increase our levels of perceived authority in this message. And here's a post that you might find valuable, the 3 things that VPs think but don't do. And then that is a link to the original post that we made answering these 3 questions that are VP of sales at technology companies are often asking themselves. Don't overcomplicate any of this. It's literally that simple. And lucky for me, there are literally thousands of VPs of sales at these technology companies. So even though this is quite a customized message, and the original piece of content that I created is a customized piece of content, very personalized to these individuals, I can still do my outreach at scale and it still remains pretty personalized. And this is, again, literally the message that I've been sending to Fortune 500 VPs of sales for a year or 2 now, and it gets me an 80% plus reply rate. So hopefully this template is useful for you if you can personalize it and create that one tiny little bit of content that makes it all more valuable for your potential buyers. So why not give it a try and leave a comment below with how it works out for you. So there we have it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and why not click one of the videos that are on the screen right now to continue your own sales education.